Okay, then he's 43, even older. Okay, so go Tom Brady. Can't beat the old man. So that was probably the most football I've ever actually watched in one sitting. So go, Mrs. Kneifel. Yeah, The Weekend. That would be the guy that sang. As soon as this recording starts, we will get started. Yeah, I'm not a football fan, so. But did you know that for 30 seconds of a commercial during the Super Bowl, it costs like 5.5 million just for 30 seconds? It's crazy. Mrs. Kneifel actually played like I had a little bingo card for the thing. I was trying to think. Well, they're not bad teams, Logan. They made it to the Super Bowl. You could not like them, but you can't say they're bad. They just made it to the Super Bowl. All right. Anyways, Super Bowl talk is over. We have reading to do because we need to read. So stop typing in the chat now, unless it has to do with our book. Remember, Shoshana just started talking. We are on page 55, right in the middle. And remember, Brayden is just like letting everyone know, oh, by the way, I invited Chase to the club. I invited him. He's really good at this. And of course, Shoshana is furious because, Chase is the reason her brother had to move away, ripped apart her family, yada, yada, yada. Oh my gosh. So Shoshana's furious and Brayden's like, what? We need some help. Okay, come on. So I get a shrinking feeling in my gut. You didn't. Brendan nods. I invited him to join the club. We all start babbling at the same time. I'm so angry that I can't really make out much of it. But it's pretty obvious that everybody is relating the story of some mean thing that Chase and probably Aaron and Bear did to them. There's definitely no shortage of material. The chorus of complaints goes on and on. Yeah, I get it, Brendan holds up. Those guys picked on me too, more than any of you. Not more than my poor brother, I think. But the Chase Ambrose who worked on this video, Brendan goes on, is not the same person. He lost his memory when he fell off the roof this summer. Total amnesia. I know it sounds weird, but maybe he forgot what a jerk he was. And he kind of has, right? He doesn't remember that he was a bully. He has no memory of that. And so far, he's kind of trying his best not to become, a bully like he was. Big talk from a guy who thinks riding a tricycle through a car wash is a smart thing to do, puts in Hugo. Brendan doesn't back down. Seriously, we had a great time yesterday. He was helpful. He had good ideas. He was even nice. He's different. All I can see is a red haze in front of my eyes. And through it, Joel packing his suitcase to go away to school. I remind Brendan, my brother would be in this room right now if it wasn't for that jerk. I don't want him here. None of us do. That's enough, Mr. Lou cut me off. School clubs are open to everyone. We don't pick and choose. If this boy wants to be a member, we'll take him in. It's as simple as that. The atmosphere in the room is supercharged. Rage from me, defiance from Brendan, firmness from the teacher, and varying degrees of protest, discontent, and uneasy from everyone else. It boils around us when a voice from the doorway asks, am I late? What did I miss? Oh my God, it kills me. This book is full of suspense. Like, everyone's talking about him, and then he's just rolling in. Like, am I late? Like, my gosh. It's him, the enemy. He enters the room, tentative but smiling, and here I am, unarmed, without my trusty tub of frozen yogurt. Welcome, Mr. Lou greets him. Brendan was just showing us your new video. We're happy you decided to join. Chase seems hesitant. He probably picks up on the disconnect between Mr. Lou's warm welcome and the body language coming off the rest of us. Only the keep out sign is missing. When he sees me, he takes a step back, a little fearful. The fear looks good on him. At least that part of his memory works. He remembers that I'm the person who hates his guts. How to clean your tricycle killed, Brendan assures him. And look, we already have 46 views on YouTube. I'm hoping it will go viral already, but these things take time. They call it viral because it's supposed to spread fast, like a virus, I put in sourly. Sometimes viruses are slower than others, Brendan replies. What exactly do you guys do? Chase asks, when you're not riding tricycles through car washes. That bugs me. For sure, that's how he sees us. A collective of nerdy wing nuts who pull off moronic stunts and call it brilliant. Brendan is kind of a goofball, but he's also the smartest kid in the school. A knuckle dragger like Chase will never appreciate someone who's destined to accomplish something that will make the world a lot better, or will make the world a better place. Why would he? The simplest way to make the world a better place would be to kick out Chase Ambrose. Mr. Lowe provides the answer. Well, some of us will be working on entries for the National Video Journalist Contest. You mean just Shoshana, Brendan snickers. If you could get your head out of YouTube long enough, I tell him, you'd see what a great opportunity It is. This year's guideline is a profile a senior citizen with an interesting story to tell. We should all consider it. I don't think I know any old people, is Chase's reaction, probably because he gets his jollies by pushing them out into traffic. We'll all be producing the school's video yearbook, the teacher goes on. That's something you can sink your teeth into. I cringe. Bad analogy for Chase, who I've always pictured as a mountain lion picking over a carcass. What goes into a video yearbook, Chase asks. Student interviews mostly, Hugo jumps in. You get so much more than the standard picture and quote. We're on page 58, Landon. He shrinks back when he remembers who he's talking to. My brother's expression has trained us to avoid capturing. My brother's experience has trained us to avoid capturing Chase's attention. He can't target you if he doesn't notice you're there. Chase nods. Makes sense. Nifty way to keep a score of kids whose lives you've ruined over the year, isn't it? I added bitterly. He's thrown by that, but Misty Lowe jumps in quickly. We'll also need content on every club and team in the school. Chase, since you play sports, I thought you'd be natural to cover the athletic program. A hopeful buzz greets the suggestion. Interviewing the jocks is a miserable job since they're always so uncooperative and hostile. The worst of them is usually our newest member himself, but we've still got Aaron and Bear and Joey Portunis, Landon Rubio, and some others to contend with. It's like Miss America. If the winners can't fulfill her duties, there are all plenty of runners up to take over the tiara. Telephone. Sorry, hold on. Hello. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. What? So after your class is done, is it my class? Did she call you and remind you? Okay, cool. I was making sure because I totally forgot. Thanks. Bye. What? I know I'm a popular person, okay? Anyways. So Chase is about to video, the things. I'll try it, says Chase, but I don't really know those guys so well anymore. I mean, they know me. Well, how about that? Brendan's right. This big dummy fell on his ugly head hard enough to give himself amnesia. And what other explanation could there be? Doesn't really know. The juvenile co-delinquent that he's partnered with in a reign of terror that covers the entire town. Could Brendan also be right that Chase has no idea what a jerky is? No. Amnesia can wipe out details of your past, but it can't change the kind of person you are. Maybe he doesn't remember being a bully. He might have no clue that he tortured Joel to the point where he had no choice but to leave town. But when a person like that wants to know, when a person like how he feels about something and looks deep inside his black heart, it's still going to be filled with acid. So Shoshana is pretty much like, she's on the fence. Like, okay, maybe he really did forget everything, but she's still convinced, like, no, he's still a bad person at heart. Obviously, amnesia can't change the type of person he is. I messaged my theory to Joel later tonight. So Joel is Piano Man and Shosh446. Obviously, I'm not going to read their screen names every single time. I'm just going to say Joel and Shoshana because it takes forever to read their screen names. Joel, so what you're telling me is I'm exile, and the guy who exiled me doesn't remember doing anything. Shosh. That's what they say. Joel. Don't know what to think about that. Shoshana. He'll remember soon enough, or Beta and Gamma rats will remind him. Joel, you seem to know about a lot about Alpha Rat these days. I start to tell Joel the real headline, who the Videos Club newest members is. My fingers freeze over the phone screen. My brother is depressed enough. The thought of Chase forcing him away, then parachuting into a spot into the club and ruining it will only make him feel worse. No, that's not it. That slimeball didn't ruin Video Club. What really happened is even worse. Nothing. The worst person in the world came to Miss Lou's room, and life went on. The other members didn't quit. The ceiling didn't cave in. Our equipment didn't burst into flame. Miss Lou didn't collapse at our desk. We can't stand that guy, but we're going to put up with him? No way am I going to tell Joel that. He's upset enough as it is. Besides, Chase Ambrose will last about 10 minutes in Video Club. As soon as Mr. Lowe actually makes him do something, he'll be gone. So I type, Shoshana. Boring school, boring town, amnesia equals big news. Joel, Alpha Rat squeezing zits. That big news at that school. Shoshana, he doesn't have any zits. That's a pointless thing to text Joel. By the time that occurs to me, I'd already tapped send. Joel, HMS kids are such morons. Shoshana, Mountain kids any better? Joel, no. That's if a deep chasm opens up in my stomach. I don't want to make him feel worse, but it needs to be said. Shoshana, come on, little bro. You were miserable at home. Joel, at least there I was special. Here, I'm just another second-rate piano player. I think of Joel or I think of Chase and I want to explode. So remember, Joel is like a music prodigy. Like he's super amazing at piano and stuff. So he obviously plays piano, but he's saying he's not anything special because now he goes to a music school. So everyone there does music. So he's like average there, where at a place that's a regular public school like what we go to, he was special. So there he said he's just run of a mill. So now he doesn't even feel special. He just feels like everyone else. Chapter 8, Chase Ambrose. The Hiwassee Middle School Hurricanes play a preseason scrimmage against East Norwich on Saturday. I make it a point to be there, not as a player, but as a member of the video club. Mr. Lowe put me in charge of athletics for the video yearbook, so the game is as good a place to start as any. As I climb into the bleachers, the flip cam is an awkward height in my hand. I don't feel like a video club kid. Not that I can recall being any kind of kid. This is supposed to be a site of my greatest glories, yet I've lost all that. The sight of the players on the field doesn't bring back a rush of gridiron memories. I guess I always pictured vast crowds cheering my name. But there isn't much turnout for the scrimmage, maybe a couple dozen kids and a handful of other people scattered around the stands. I raise the camera and shoot a couple of plays. Brendan said that I was a natural filming how to clean your tricycle. That was easy, though. That stunt at the car wash was the craziest, funniest, most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Honestly, I couldn't look away. And since I'm watching through the camera viewfinder, I captured the intensity from start to finish. Would it be wrong to say I had the time of my life since I couldn't speak for my life before the accident? But it was more than enough for Brendan to convince me that video club was the place for me. A frog horn voice drowns out the PA casting board over the loudspeaker. Champ, over here. It's my dad, sitting in the fourth row with Helen. I never miss a game, he explains, assuring me that he was there on the 50-yard line week in and week out all throughout the 28-year gap between his state championship and my own. Helen's turning into a real fan, too. My half-sister has set up an impressive array of dollhouse furniture on the metal bleachers and is playing with a couple of Barbies. As far as I've seen, she hasn't looked in the direction of the field once. For such a big Hurricane fan, Dad sure doesn't seem to have any fun watching them. The longer we sit, the darker his mood gets, blackening and lowering until it hangs over him like a line of thunderheads. Did you see that? He complains. The left guard is supposed to cut the block on the play. Otherwise, there's no hole for the running back, or our quarterback doesn't see the field. He had a man wide open in the end zone. Or what kind of tackling is that? Did he used to tackle like that? I never tackled like that. Okay, so it's his dad. Remember, he was like glory, amazing player, and now he just like sits and watches them play, you know? Yeah, he's a big football fan, but he's at like high school games and he's just like grouchy. Everything they do is wrong. Nothing's good enough. I don't remember anything about football. I tell him honestly, zooming in tight on a huddle. So I have no idea how I used to tackle. Yeah, well, it was a lot better than that, he snorts. You used to wrap up your man and bring him down properly. By this time, the Hurricanes are on the wrong end of a 24-7 score. It's funny. I've forgotten everything about my own football career, but I know the game itself. When I shoot the footage of the action on the field, I get where the players are doing, or at least trying to do. Either East Norwich is all universal, or this year's Hiwassee Hurricanes aren't a team of destiny. I have no idea how good I am, but it's hard to believe that one person could make up the difference between these stumblebums and last year's state championship. We're out of sync, I observe. The O-line is opening up some good holes, but the backs are never in the right place to run through them. So that's another thing. Just like Chase knows how to get dressed, how to eat, how to do all that stuff, he also remembers the game of football. He remembers how it plays. He just doesn't remember actually playing it. Exactly. Dad slaps me too hard on the back shoulder. That's what I say. Bye, Landon. Make sure you watch the rest of the recording. That's what I say. We've got talent. We do. When we're on the field anyways, all we need is timing. I'm sure it isn't the first time my father and I have ever agreed on something, but it's the first time I actually remember. There's another thing amnesia made me forget how much I like his approval. Helen has dismantled her Barbie condo on the bleachers and is bored out of her mind. Daddy, can we leave? Not yet, honey. Daddy doesn't even glance away from the field. It's still the third quarter. I point the flip camera at her. Why don't you set up the furniture again? We can make a movie about your dolls. She curls up her lip. They're Barbies. Barbie can be a movie star, I offer. As she places the plastic chairs and tables with great care, quarterback Joey Petrunes throws an interception and East Norwich runs it back for yet another touchdown. That does it for Dad. He goes off on a deliberate against the players, the coaches, even the guys who make the chalk lines on the field. I'm not immune either. When he finishes, what are you doing with the camera anyways? You should be in this game, not taking pictures of it. I know you don't know how good you are, but I promise you are that good. Okay, so his dad is like mad at everything, and then he still doesn't understand, like, Chase can't get hit in the head. Like, once you have a serious concussion like that he had, that literally caused amnesia, he can't just keep on getting hit in the head. And his dad still doesn't understand that. I start to tell him I'm only here to cover the team for the video yearbook, but something makes me swallow the words before they hit the air. I understand on a gut level that it wasn't what my dad wants to hear. Or that isn't what Dad wants to hear. Instead, I find myself saying, I want to get back on blah, blah, blah. I want to get back on the field as soon as the doctor gives the okay. You'll see. I'll be out there. Dad nods pleased. That's who we are, champ. We're Ambrose men. We're the doers. Other people take pictures of us. Helen acts out an entire storyline with the Barbies. I capture it on video, all while taking up the running game commentary with Dad, who doesn't seem to be a Barbie guy. Surprise, surprise. When I play the football footage back for Helen on the tiny screen, she squeals with delight. And there, sitting on the bleachers in front of the bad football game, it happens. I remember. I mean, there's nothing wrong with my ability to remember. I remember everything that happened since I woke up from the hospital. But before the accident, except the weird image of the girl, nothing. Until now. It's a flashback of Helen. She's probably what triggered it, because in my memory, she squealed just like she is now. Wait, no, it isn't a happy sound. Her cheeks are red, her face twisted, and she's about to bawl. In memory, I'm holding a stuffed teddy bear, her favorite. I remember that too. Actually, I've got the bear in my left hand and its head in my right. I ripped the head off a 4-year-old's teddy bear? Definitely not the memory I'd been hoping for, but still. I remembered something, I exclaimed out loud. Yeah, what? Dad actually turns his attention from the game. Something from before the accident. See, he triumphs. I told you there's nothing wrong with you. You'll be back in commission in no time. And man, do we need you out there. On the field, our halfbacks take a handoff and is buried under a pile of East Norwich jerseys. Dad's looking away, so he misses it. A tiny gap in the weak side on the defense line. Our guy could have hit that. I would have hit that. A stutter step to the left. That's what I would have done. Juked out the linebacker and gone. My shoulders shimmy as I make the imaginary cuts in my head. I see it now. I was a player. Correction, I am a player. And as I picture it, the image of the headless teddy bear starts to fade away. After that, it's just a stuffed toy. Helen is perfectly happy now. No harm, no foul. I bet she's forgotten it ever happened. Okay, look, Chase officially remembered something, but it wasn't a good memory. It was a memory of him ripping a head off his little sister's teddy bear. Remember when we first met his little sister, she wasn't exactly thrilled to see him, she kind of hid behind her mom and was like not into Chase. Okay, well, if you scare a little kid by ripping off their teddy bear's head, probably not going to be that into you, right? So she probably has good reason to be like shuddering away from Chase. But as Chase is watching football, he keeps on thinking like, yes, I could have been there. I could have been there. Like, this is me. So now the question is Chase going to end up playing football or not? Like, I just don't know what's going to happen next. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Well, we still have a few minutes. So I'm going to keep reading because we still have like 3 minutes. Chase Ambrose, Chapter 9. After the scrimmage, I went down to the locker room to get some players' interviews. I arrived just in time to see Aaron slamming the heavy metal door in Hugo's face. He staggered backwards straight into me and let out a whoop of shock. Take it easy, Hugo, I tell him. It's just me. Hi, Chase, he manages, his voice faltering. I'm trying to shoot some footage of the team. He hefts his own flip cam. I thought Mr. Lowe put me on that, I tell him. Oh, sure, totally, he says quickly. We're just afraid, you might forget. What do you mean forget? I ask, a little annoyed. He retreats a step, blushing and looking plenty worried. No offense, he stammers. But before I can reply, the door opens and there's Bear. I told you it was his voice, he shouts. He hauls me inside, shutting Hugo out again. Hugo's with me, I protest. Ha, good one, Bear laughs. Seriously, we're covering the Hurricanes for the video yearbook. So Hugo gets in with me. He's grateful, but it doesn't make him very happy. He acts like he's tiptoeing around a minefield. I get some high fives, but the team's not in the best spirits. After all, they just got steamrolled, and when it sinks in that I'm there as a reporter and not to get in the good news that I've been cleared to play, they can't hide their disappointment. Well, I can't say anything's wrong with you, Joey complains. You're not even in a sling anymore. I get it. Joey laid an egg at quarterback today. A good running game would take a lot of pressure off of him. It's a concussion, I tried to explain. The doctor wants me to be really careful. Landon Rubio, the kid with a giant neck I saw on the first day, glances dubiously from Hugo to me. So you have to miss a few games. But what gives it with him? So Hugo's sitting right there, and he's literally like referring to him as a him, not even saying his name. Hugo attempts to point to the camera and is beaten back by a hail of dirty sweat socks. I bristle. The video yearbook is doing a segment on every sports team, including golf and badminton. So when you're not in it, don't you come crying to us. Yearbook, Joey Eckers, bad enough you're off the team. Now you're on yearbook staff? Video yearbook, Hugo amends. A snapping towel nearly takes his ears off. Guys, chill out. Aaron steps between the other players and Hugo and me. It isn't our boy's fault that his doctor's a wuss. Cut him some slack. All right, we are officially going to stop there. We will pick up tomorrow on page 70. Mrs. Kneiffel's obsessed with this book. See you later. Get off. See some of you in reading. See some of you in math RTI. Goodbye. You're like, all right, get off. Well, I need him to go so I can close this one out and get